In this video, Peter McGuinness, the 2020 Sheep Grassland Farmer of the Year, will go through the key steps that he takes during the year to ensure that he has enough grass in March and April to avoid meal feeding his ewes after lambing. He will explain the role played by lamb drafting pattern, closing paddocks from late October, lambing date, early nitrogen, soil fertility and grass measuring. Peter will start by explaining his flock setup and his target grass cover for the 10th of March.
We've about 800 ewes, mainly a Suffolk Texel cross, lambing all outdoors starting on around the 10th of March. We have a scanning rate of around about 1.81 and a weaning rate of generally 1.4. Our target for the 10th of March is at least 900 to 1,000 kilos of dry matter per hectare across the entire grazing platform. We aim for that target because that'll leave us with a decent wedge of grass across the entire grazing platform, so we won't run into a shortage before the growth meets the demand of the ewes later on in spring. On the 10th of March, the average farm cover across the entire farm was 1,045 kilos of dry matter per hectare.
There's enough grass here for ewes straight after lambing so that you don't have to feed them any meal. Just explain how you do that.
And that begins in the autumn. We aim for 80 or 90% of the lambs killed by the end of September. So that takes out the competition for the lambs or for the ewes competing with lambs for grass. And then at the end, in the third week of October, we begin to close paddocks down to a residual height of 4 centimetres. We begin lambing on the 10th of March because the weather is beginning to improve and it helps with lambing outdoors. Grass growth is beginning to pick up, so there's less chance of the ewes running into a shortage. And during the summer months, we get to kill most of the lambs when the price is at its best, so we don't want to be starting to lamb too early or too late, so we find the 10th of March works well. So this year on the first week of March we went across the entire farm with 30 units of protected urea per acre, and we would have had a good opening cover so that there would have been a good uptake of the nitrogen. So for the most part the soil fertility in the farm would be good. We'd soil test every 3 years and lime would be applied where needed, and any P's and K's that need to be brought up on the farm is done accordingly. I start grass measuring on the first week of February, so I know how much grass I have across the entire farm and then I can plan ahead.
So the practices that play a key role in having good grass covers in March and early April are lamb drafting pattern, closing paddocks from late October, lambing date, early nitrogen, soil fertility and grass measuring.